Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, if you've never joined us before, then welcome in general. First things first, I have to apologize. I have not been putting up videos. Reason being, it's been summertime and I've been busy doing other stuff. Both fortunately and unfortunately, I have a real job that I work full time. So sometimes tinkering around in the garage doesn't exactly take priority over work and having to take care of stuff around the house. But I am sure by now I have posted at least a couple of videos that have hopefully I put a couple of videos up since the last time I recorded anything, and they were, I believe, on the Jeep. But today we are back working on the Cutlass, the Hurst olds. Last time we did anything with it, basically I got the motor slapped back in and got the car back together, and that was early spring. And the plan was drive it, make sure everything was good to go with it, so that here this fall we can tear back into it and do some more repair of the body. That kind of happened, in that it's back together. I've driven it a few times, but I'll be honest with you, I have not had time to even drive my cars this summer. I still have 3/4 of a tank of gas in this car from when I filled it in the spring. It just hasn't gotten driven. And I have only driven the other Cutlass over here a handful of times as well. I did not make it to, well, I didn't take any of my cars to any car shows this year, and the wife and I just kind of stopped at one car show and walked around real quick and left. Just haven't had time. Family stuff too. Unfortunately, we lost my wife's grandmother, so I've not only been taking care of things around our house, but trying to take care of things around their place too, so that her grandpa doesn't have to mess with it and all that stuff, which is fine. I don't mind doing that at all, but it's kind of taken time where I haven't had time to tinker around in the garage. However, it is fall now, so we can hopefully get back to messing around in the garage, because now I don't have to mess around with hours and hours of mowing every week. So that's good. Today, we are going to work on putting an exhaust on the Hurst olds. That is admittedly one of the reasons I have not driven it much this summer, is because it is so damn loud. I don't have carpet in it yet or anything. Most of the interior is stripped out, so there's basically no sound deadening in it. It's obnoxious to ride in it. And I just don't want to get pulled over for it, because I don't really need tickets if we can avoid them. So we're going to work on putting an exhaust on it here and see what we have. I'll show you what I got, but it's I ordered it from Jegs. It's not exactly, it's nothing special, I wouldn't say. According to the description on it, it says that it does not fit any Cutlass, but we're putting it on a Cutlass. It says it fits a Monte Carlo. It says it fits a Grand Prix. It says it fits an El Camino, which I don't know how it would fit an El Camino, because they're a little bit longer, and I don't know. It doesn't look like it's that long. But anyway, basically, when you see these kits online, for those of you with Cutlasses that are looking for exhaust, don't be scared away by the fact that most of them say will not fit Cutlass. If you are, I'm sure there's going to be some adjustments that we have to make and everything. But pretty much, I'm pretty sure if you have dual exhaust from headers back, then there isn't anything else different. We are on the fortunate side of things with this car that it has a Chevy small block in it. So at this point, with headers on it, it should be no different than a Monte Carlo or anything like that, so, or Malibu. So I don't think that the won't fit a Cutlass thing is going to be any issue to us. So, but I would think that if you had a Cutlass and you were running dual exhaust straight off the manifolds or aftermarket headers more, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. I can't imagine that the spacing between the headers would be that significantly different between an Olds engine and a Chevy engine where they drop down below. I could be wrong. It's happened a couple times. So, but I'll get the camera flipped around here. We'll show you what we've got. And I don't have anything with an actual part number on it because the Jegs box doesn't have a part number on it, but I'll kind of show you what they gave, and I'll try to get a part number in the description. Hopefully it will be so that you can reference it for your project, and it won't be a, hey, you can reference this, don't use it type of a thing, but we'll see. All right, we'll get you flipped around here. All right, so this is the kit. Just got laid out on the floor. All comes in one box, obviously. But you got 2 adapters for your collectors right off your headers. Then you have 2 pipes coming back, a couple of supposedly turbo mufflers. I don't know what they're going to sound like, but supposedly they're supposed to be deep sounding, was about the only description they got. A couple of pipes to go over your rear end, and then it looks like some extensions to take them out the back. Unfortunately, I cannot find a kit that will take the exhaust, don't pay attention to the holes here, they'll take the exhaust out right here like I want it to. I prefer the look of it coming out behind the rear wheel to exiting out the back. For now, we're going to put this in, have it exit out the back, but I just kind of held it up there. And it looks like we'll be able to cut the pipe a little bit back eventually and then kick it out the side. Personally, I've got it on the other Cutlass here. This exhaust was a custom built deal by a guy, I don't know, it used to be on a Turbo Regal. But anyway, that's what I would rather have coming out the side there rather than out the back. But it is what it is. So kit comes with everything, supposedly. It's got some kind of janky hangers with it, and I'm not a big fan of this style of exhaust clamp, but just got some hangers, some sort of cheapy bushings for the hangers. I don't know. We just got to get an exhaust on it. I'm probably just going to mock it up for now, but if I can find it here, just dragging the camera around with me here, trying to see if I can find where I set the parts. Oh, they're over here on the bench. I'm probably going to order some more of these style of clamps to go on it instead of the U-bolt shaped ones. Reason being, I like how these ones evenly compress around it so that you aren't putting a dimple in the middle of the conduit, or conduit. You can tell I'm an electrician. I'm used to calling it conduit. I don't want to dimple the pipe because if you ever have to slip it back apart, that dimple will keep it from sliding back apart. So we're gonna, for right now, just kind of mock this system up under here, and I've already held this piece over here. I've already held it up because I was a little bit concerned. If you remember from the other video, I replaced this floor pan, and I don't know if it's like this from the factory. I haven't compared it to the other car over there, but if you stand back and look, you can see that this floor pan sits a little bit lower than this one. So I was a little bit concerned as to whether or not that pipe would fit. Looks like it should. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna work on. I'm gonna get kind of set up, and then I will get you guys set up and probably end up doing a little bit of a time lapse on it, because I don't think you need to hear me curse about it. All right, so I apologize. I'm a little out of practice because I haven't been recording stuff, but show you what I kind of got. I forgot to hit the time lapse. So I started kind of laying stuff up, mocking it up, and it's just kind of held up with some tie wire here. And I started at the back for a reason, only because I know you got to pay attention to making sure that these humps get over where the rear axle is so you aren't smacking the axle. Same on this side. And I just wanted to kind of lay it out there and make sure everything kind of flowed. We've got clearance around the exhaust or the gas tank here and everything. And I've just kind of got the jack holding stuff up. Obviously, that's not how that's going to go, but you get the point. Basically, the way it's rigged up here, you can see the exhaust will come out the back. And like I said, I mean, don't pay attention. It's all wonky because nothing's tight, but it'll put the exhaust coming out the back here somewhere. Same with this. Again, nothing is straight and run yet, but just getting an idea. That's when I found out where we have our issue. And I'll kind of go over how I plan on fixing it. Basically, the way this runs, your mufflers sit up in this pocket behind your passenger, or your driver's and passenger actually, rear footwell. This is where your back passenger feet go. And it comes out around, kind of tucks up in, kind of next to the drive shaft here, and wraps around and then cuts back over and lines up with your header. Apparently, it does not fit with this header, or not header, with this cross member. Now, according to the description on the exhaust, it fits with the GM 400 transmission, which this is the 400 cross member, also works for the 200 4R. So in theory, this should work. Now, this is an aftermarket cross member, but even so, a factory cross member wouldn't even have a cutout on the other side. So I'm not going to say it's necessarily the cross member's fault or the exhaust's fault. It's two different brands. You're going to have stuff that doesn't work. But basically, you can see I've just kind of got it mocked up. We're that far off because I can't get it pushed up. And I know the lighting is poor, but this cutout here runs right into the side of the pipe. Basically, this whole thing right here needs to go back to clear this offset where it kicks over, and then it's going to have to be shortened up somewhere, either here, there's a bend right here, or right here, to make up for pushing it back from right here for this angle to clear. Same thing is going to happen over on the other side here. So I was thinking, you know, how am I going to progress forward with this? Then I kind of got to looking at it, and I'm sure stuff has slipped and it's not going to work now or be visible. This is where I want my exhaust to come out anyway. That's where it naturally wants to bend. So we don't need these extensions to go out the back, really, because we could just cut it back here and put an extension out this way. In the meantime, we're going to try slipping these on up here. That gets us out past this cross member, and we can actually then take the tail or the exhaust pipe, hold it up where it needs to be, lop this off, slip it on, then figure out where we need to trim it in the middle, and just get a coupling to go in the middle and cut a chunk out in the center. So that, because these need to be where they aren't going to go anywhere. So we got to take some length out of the center in there somewhere, both pipes. So I'm going to kind of play around with that, see what I can make happen. Going to have to either order some parts or see if the old O'Reilly's or AutoZone or somebody has the stuff. But if you watch the original video where I first got this thing up on the lift, I don't even care if it's not attached. This already looks better than what was in this. So, you know, we're winning somewhere here. But yeah, I'll probably tinker around with this and see if I can come up with a plan. And I mean, I already have a plan, but see if I can come up with more of a plan. And we'll bring you back around when I got something figured out. All right, guys, it's obviously a new day. Once again, I have messed up and forgot to hit the time lapse, but you know, whatever. You haven't missed anything yet, per se. It is finally starting to come together. Got some exhaust clamps in place that I had ordered that I was waiting for. They're supposedly made to just do a butt joint in a piece of exhaust pipe. Whether or not it seals real well, I can't really tell you for sure right now, but I'll let you know at the end of the video how they actually work. I don't foresee them sealing real well, but I really hope that these are kind of temporary anyway. But anyway, like I said earlier when I kind of started mocking stuff up, took the tailpipes off the back of the kit, moved them up front at the collectors so that we had enough room to get us out in front of this cross member here. Held the pipe up there, marked where it needed to be cut, chopped it off. Basically ended up being about 6 or 7 inches cut off of the end of the tailpipe. As far as how much that extended things, let me see if I can, all right, I don't have it, but probably basically extended that piece that comes with the kit. Probably about 6 or 8 inches, so that way gets everything past the cross member. Driver side, I still haven't worked on, but that one I'm going to try to trim up just a little bit more and try to shift everything towards the front of the car so that just because I got more bends in this pipe from the factory, and you can't put a butt splice or whatever in the middle of a bend, so makes more sense to try to get it shifted as far forward as we can, so that we aren't fighting where we have to put in our butt splices. Anyway, the butt splice right here is in place. Like I said, I hope they're temporary. I just want to get this mocked up, get it quieted down. If we like how it sounds, then we'll go ahead and take it to an actual exhaust shop and have them remove this and weld it up. Probably going to have them weld up front here too, but I am going to leave some clamps in there so that it is still able to be slipped apart and removed. I just don't like a bunch of unnecessary clamps. So the passenger side is up and in. It is not actually supported or anything yet because I haven't figured out how those straps are supposed to attach to anything, nor have I figured out how or where I want to strap it. But it is all together and, you know, solidly mounted right now with some copper wire that I had laying around. It is what it is. So this time I'm going to actually remember to turn on the time-lapse camera and try to get it set up where there's some sort of a view and where you can kind of see what it is I'm doing, and we'll work on getting the driver's side in. All right, so what I've done so far, obviously I've gotten this part done. I took and cut this pipe right after this bend and shortened this up. That's going to bring this pipe here closer over to the floor pan, so it's kind of similar to this one over on this side. So that's kind of taking care of that. Again, hopefully these are temporary and we can have them exhaust shop actually weld it. And in case I don't remember if I explained why I'm going to have an exhaust shop weld it, I got no way to weld stainless. I didn't want this kit in stainless, but that's all it came in, so whatever. Anyway, so at this point now, as we're back in here, we just need to shorten this up to where it's about the same distance as far as the muffler is concerned. This pipe is straight from here to here, so we're going to make a cut back in here somewhere, and then we'll cut it back, shorten it up, get that in the right spot. This can then also roll, so it'll get us at the same level as this, because if you look at it right now, this one's a little bit higher. I'd like them to sit at the same height so it doesn't look stupid. But anyway, so we're going to get that cut and move along from there. All right, so we got it kind of up and in place. I'm not in love with it, but that's okay. Like I said, temporary-ish. Like I said, shorten this one up to suck it back in a little closer over there. Put this one in to bring the muffler back where it needs to go. Again, no hangers or anything in it just as of yet. I don't know if it's supposed to have these two bent differently, but they are. And I think it might have something to do with this one has to drop a little lower to clear the corner of the gas tank or something. I don't know. It's a little bit different, but it makes it look, I guess it doesn't look too odd from back here. It looks like they're running pretty straight. But yeah, so it's just kind of up and in there. I'm going to lower the car down. We'll start it up, see what it sounds like. I still have this sitting on a block on the jack because, well, there's no supports or anything in it yet. But we'll fire it up and see what it sounds like and kind of go from there and figure out some hangers. All right, so it has been a couple of weeks since I last recorded anything as far as the exhaust is concerned on this. I got a couple hangers on there, and I'll raise the car up and show you guys what I got with that. But the clamps that I put on it, I'm not real thrilled about. I mean, they'll work, but the band clamps that I put on it, they leak, but they're fine for right now. They're temporary so that we can have an exhaust that works for the most part. But it's still got a couple little leaks. Not super impressed with this exhaust system as far as the sound goes. Very quiet. At least in my opinion, it's quiet. At least inside the car it is. And maybe it's because it exits all the way out the back and I'm used to having it exit out the side. Maybe that's part of it. But the actual tone of it is good. And it is definitely nice being able to hear yourself think, if you think, and I don't know, whatever. It's nice that it's not actually, you know, rattling your brain when the car is running. So we'll get you flipped around here, kind of show you what it ended up looking like coming out the back here, and also the underside, what we got going on down there. But it does its job. We'll get it actually welded here at some point. I don't have, well, I say I don't have a way to weld stainless. I do, but I don't. I don't want to just use regular MIG wire. So I can get stainless wire, but then I have to get different gas for it. I really don't know crap about welding stainless. I could do TIG on it, except I have no clue how to do TIG welding. I'll be completely honest there. And I'm not going to learn on the exhaust. So who knows? I might have a shop do it. I might get the gas and the stainless wire and go ahead and do it myself because I'm cheap, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll get it turned around here, show you what we got going on. All right, so as far as what it looks like coming out the back side, and I apologize, I got a bunch of crap in the way here. I did cut those extensions at a 45 just because I think it looks a little bit better. These hangers I'm not super happy with here. They're just regular exhaust clamp hangers, and then I'll show you the bracket once I get it raised up. You don't see them too much, you know, unless you're right down on it, but I don't know. They're kind of cheesy. But the exhaust isn't dragging on the ground, so that's good. You know, when you step back and look at it, they're not too crazy obvious. They'll do their job for now. Like I said, I'd rather have it exit out behind the rear wheel, but we'll see. Let me get it raised up, show you what we got going on under there. All right, so underneath the car, I do need to replace the collector gaskets here. There is a little bit of a leak on these, and I just used the cheap ones that came with it, but I've got some actual nice gaskets to put on there, so that's not a big deal. This clamp is probably going to end up going away and have this welded here. Probably the same with this one. We'll go ahead and weld this one. These clamps are the ones that I was saying really don't seal too hot. These ones actually, they kind of seal, but like you can notice over on this side where we got the same thing, you can see where moisture has kind of dripped out of there. I mean, you can use an actual sealant on these, and I might try doing that, but these ones definitely leak. You can see where condensation moisture is leaking there and there. But the whole purpose of these was just to be temporary, to hold it in place, make sure everything fit well. And once I did that, I mean, it actually does fit pretty decently. I'm not complaining about that any one bit. And this kit may be just fine if you're using a stock cross member. And if you use the headers that match up to this kit, probably fits fine. I would assume it fits fine. This application is a little bit different. So, you know, it is what it is. I do not have a clue how their hangers, they planned on using those, but whatever. Again, these, I will probably use a sealant and continue to use these clamps both sides of the muffler. That way it can all be taken apart, because if you ever got to take it out, to get it out from under or from over the axle, you gotta, you know, you gotta take her down in sections. It doesn't work otherwise. The clamps I ended up using, let me see if I can get a light back here real quick. Otherwise you ain't seeing anything. These are a rubber clamp to kind of isolate the vibration. These are just bolted up with a 3/8 bolt, and it really needs to be zipped off because it looks tacky, but just 3/8 bolt through an existing hole in the frame. Same thing both sides. These clamps I'm fine with. I don't have any issue with those. The ones I used in the back, don't judge me. cheesy how I did it. But for right now, it works. I currently just have them hanging off of a bumper bolt there. It holds them in place for right now. Actually, fairly well, but it just, I don't know, it feels cheesy to me, but it's supported, and that's all I was going for at this point. Again, I'd rather have it exit out behind the wheel than all the way straight out the back anyway. Just aesthetically, I think it looks better that way, but I don't know. You know, kind of, it is what it is. But overall, I mean, the exhaust is decent. It's, you know, certainly serves its purpose. It's 100 times better than what was on it when I purchased the car. So, you know, that's, I mean, anything would be better than that. Like I said, we'll get these, now that they're kind of held in place, we'll get these removed and actually welded up. And I think that'll clean it up a lot better and just look a little bit more legit. But we are going to keep some clamps just for being able to take stuff out. Still haven't decided if we're going to keep this engine in it or if we're going to try and make something happen with the LS eventually. That's another reason I want to be able to keep this, so it can all be removed and, you know, modified for that ever. So that's basically all I got for this video. As always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on. You'll see if we got any other stuff come up here. Hopefully, you know, it's currently fall right now. It's like 30 degrees outside as a high. So my time driving this might be real limited. Technically, legally, 1st of November here, it's not supposed to be driven unless it is to a shop or to a show or whatever Illinois' expanded antique license plate ruling is. And I drove it yesterday around. I'm probably gonna continue to drive it for a little while and do a little bit more of a shakedown. It's got some issues. Now that we have an exhaust on it, we can hear the issues. The rear end howls pretty bad, so it's probably going to need some attention. I didn't have heat in it until yesterday. I went ahead, I got a bad blower motor and talked to a buddy of mine. He gave me another blower motor. It was bad too. Did have power at the unit and even jumped 12 volts to the motor, still wouldn't turn. So took the blower motor out, cleaned it out with a bunch of electrical contact cleaner, let it sit and dry, I thought. Hooked it up to power on the workbench. It burst into flames. So that was exciting, but no big deal. We got it, I say we got it put out. I just let it burn and burn all the crap off. And then oiled it up a little bit, just the bearings on the ends, put power to it again, and it works. Not real well, but works better than not working at all. So it kind of has heat in it, only works on high, so I'm sure there's a blower resistor pack or whatever that is shot in it, not surprising. Or the controls are bad. I don't know, but the fan will blow, so we can actually have some heat. I just gotta, something's goofy with the vacuum system in it. I can't change the blend doors or anything and actually get it to blow on defrost. It just straight blows on the floor. Or the doors are seized up, or there's a mouse nest in there. Who knows? Might tinker with that. But not really driving it anyway. Hope to tear into doing some rocker panels and maybe the quarter panels. Plan was to pull the body off the frame. I'm gonna see if I can do it without doing that, because I don't want to mess with it. I'll be real honest. My ambition level with the car has been kind of low, just because of the sad shape that it's in. But you know, it's all stuff I kind of want to learn how to do. So we're going to see. I don't know. I thought about just turning it into a winter beater. I mean, it's already rusted. You know, what do I have to lose? Uh, you know, spend the money on something that's a little bit better shape. But I got the stuff now to do it, and I wouldn't mind learning how to do it. So I want to see if I can do it without pulling the body off the frame, because obviously that's a bit of an undertaking. And I am terrible with, if I get a project in a state where it can't be moved under its own power, I start losing some ambition with it. And also, I just don't want to have it torn apart on the lift, and then the lift isn't usable for other stuff. Then I have the Jeep, and that means that I've lost some space in the garage, so then I don't have room to put the body and the frame in a different area. It's a whole thing. So I'm gonna see if I can do inner and outer rockers and quarter panels with the body still on the frame. Is it the right way to do it? I don't know. Is it gonna work? Really don't know. We'll see what we can do. What's the worst that can happen if we get part way into it and then we got to pull the body off? Well, is what it is. Anyway, rambling now. Like I said, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.